What's going on, YouTube? Luca back again with another video. And thank you for the few viewers that I have so far. Hopefully I'll be able to thank a little more amount of people in the future, but I'm steady getting there and I'm sticking to it. But anyway, the subject I want to be talking about today is about letting go, and this applies to many different areas of our life, so it could be a relationship, a job, an addiction, food habits, which is also a form of addiction, certain people, friends, family, or maybe even family, it can get like that. Habits, also an addiction. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about letting go. And I'm going to start off by talking about addiction. When it comes to addiction, right, we have to own up to the fact, take this book, for instance, Recovery by Russell Brand, right? He talks about how if you're addicted to something, you just have to submit your power that you have none. You have to submit to something higher, like, high. You have to submit to the almighty high, that you have no power over your addiction. It has more power than you do willpower to quit. So you understand that and get help, get your family to help, get your friends to help, get people who are also in the same situation. If your addiction is serious, like drug addiction, like anything more than a cannabis or weed addiction, go and get serious help by a doctor and medical field. I'm not a qualified person to talk about that, but I'm talking about, minor things like food and weed and porn addiction and stuff like that. It's all very vital that, you keep everything in moderation. If you smoke weed here and there, it's cool. It'll probably have no effect on you, depending on who you are. If you watch porn here and there, it's probably not going to have any effect on you, depending on who you are. If you eat bad food here and there, depending on what dietary plan you're trying to stick to, probably won't have much of an effect on you. But what you really need to understand is what's the underlying cause of these habits that you've built up over a certain amount of time that you now find yourself relying on. Is it in a void that is needing to be filled, or is it you're just doing it for pleasure because you don't find anything else in life pleasurable? If that is the case, that you don't find anything else in life pleasurable apart from these things, you need to find a bigger purpose, because to constantly saturate your life with temporary pleasures is not the way to go forward, especially if you want to accomplish your dreams. So definitely look into just getting yourself help, get a regime going of cutting down, if not quitting completely, cold turkey, one day at a time. And so another form of letting go is relationships. If like, it's obvious, right? When you're in a relationship, you're not happy. If you're not happy, you need to be the witnesser of your unhappiness and think, what is causing my unhappiness? Is it my relationship, or is it an underlying issue that is going on when I'm not around that person that you're in a relationship with? And if it is the relationship, if you find yourself always anxious and annoyed around that person, you got to really have a good talk to yourself and consider breaking it off with that person, because life's too short to be carrying things on that aren't resonating with you, because what are you doing it for otherwise? You need to stick around people who give you what you want. Not that you should take anybody from anybody, because you should be complete going into a relationship. You shouldn't be going in there thinking that you can require something. So consider that and consider letting it go, because to be happy you need to let go to grow. And thirdly, letting go in the space of life itself. When negative thinking and everything, because negative thinking is a form of an addiction, because you get some sort of chemical release and imbalance from negative thinking. So you need to let go of negative thinking. And obviously everything I'm saying, right, is way easier said than done, and I know that because I'm human and I have a lot of addictions myself. I've had a lot of addictions that I've overcome, and I'm not saying like I've been like a fucking heroin addict or nothing. I'm saying I've had minor addictions that I've had to overcome through, understanding why I might be addicted and how I can then overcome it through time and effort. So, negative thinking will produce further infliction of addiction, because I just ran. because the negative thinking will allow you to doubt yourself that you can't quit whatever you're reliant on. So make sure, you form a pattern of behaviors that surround a positive field rather than a negative field. One that you can have confidence in yourself, that you can let something go and be self-reliant rather than reliant on that thing. And these things are very important, because to be reliant on something is to be insecure. And to be reliant on something is also to be vulnerable and sort of fragile in society, especially in this secular society, when we don't really have a dogma or a religion or like a folk tale to live up to. We're all in it for the individualistic side of things, which is sad, because it will have to change one day because the world is dying, but that's another story. So yeah, man, just you gotta let go to grow. And if you have something in your life that you need to let go, really take care of debunking why you can't let it go. Why can't you let it go? Why can't I stop smoking? Why can't I stop drinking? Why can't I stop watching porn and shit like that? You need to understand, and you need to write it down. Talk to people that have similar issues. Talk to people who have recovered. That's another great point from that book. You got to talk to people who have come out the other side of the addiction, if your addiction is more serious than minor. But yeah, man, stay free, stay safe, stay loving, and stay loving of yourself, because that is the main thing. You can't really love anybody else without loving yourself. You can't really love your life if you don't love yourself, because you have no choice but to be yourself. You wake up every morning and you're still the same person. So you can either choose to love that person or the opposite. But I can tell you which way life is more enjoyable, and that is, taking care of yourself and loving yourself for who you are, accepting yourself, accepting your flaws. I accept my flaws. You should accept your flaws too, because we're all human. We're all in this society together, man. We've got